10 ancient discoveries that rewrote world history. Even scientists can't explain them. What do you think would happen if an ancient golden mask suddenly revealed the existence of a kingdom that had vanished from history for thousands of years? Why was the bottom of an ancient Roman well in Croatia filled with the remains of soldiers who had been mysteriously executed? Who built the secret tunnels stretching dozens of yards beneath a Roman arena nearly 2,000 years ago, and what were they trying to hide? How did a Mongol warship remain at the bottom of the Sea of Japan for more than 700 years, standing as haunting evidence of a failed invasion? Hello, and welcome back to Ancient History, the channel where we explore forgotten secrets, lost civilizations, and mysterious archaeological discoveries that once shocked the global scientific community. In today's video, we'll descend into the dark ancient tunnels beneath Rome, dive deep into the Sea of Japan in search of a lost Mongol warship, uncover nearly perfectly preserved Viking skeletons in Denmark, and witness thousand-year-old treasures recently excavated from the legendary city of Troy in Turkey. Discoveries that even today, modern science still cannot fully explain. There are still unanswered questions, civilizations filled with missing pieces, and mysteries that seem to challenge humanity's entire understanding of world history. So, are you ready to uncover the secrets hidden behind them? If you are, then let's begin right now. 1,400-year-old prince's tomb, hidden between a pub and a supermarket. My friend, have you ever walked past a familiar street, glanced at an ordinary empty lot, without realizing that beneath it could lie an entire chapter of history buried for thousands of years? If not, then come with me to a quiet town called Prittlewell, in Essex, northeast of London. Here, there is a simple grassy patch located right next to a pub and a supermarket. Cars pass by every day. People go about their normal lives, yet no one notices. And no one suspects that right beneath their feet, a prince has been resting there for 1,400 years. Recently, British archaeologists surveying the area discovered what has been described as the Chamber of the Afterlife, belonging to Prince Cyaxa, the brother of a well-known Anglo-Saxon king in English history. As I mentioned earlier, what makes this discovery so astonishing is not just the identity of the person buried there, but the fact that the tomb remained hidden for over a millennium without anyone knowing. Just think about it. A royal tomb filled with valuable treasures, located right beside a busy road, yet never touched by grave robbers. Isn't that almost impossible in archaeology? As you know, most ancient tombs were looted long ago, and yet somehow, the tomb of Prince Cyaxa remained intact. Even though the mound above it had collapsed over time, and countless historical changes had passed, everything inside was preserved just as it was on the day of burial. Even more astonishing, modern structures like the nearby pub and supermarket seem to have unknowingly avoided the exact location of the tomb, a coincidence that sends chills down your spine. When excavations began, archaeologists discovered that the tomb was not merely a burial site, but more like a room for the living. Everything inside was carefully arranged, familiar and orderly, as if its owner were simply embarking on another journey. At the center of the chamber lay the prince's coffin, serving as a bed. Surrounding it were approximately 40 royal artifacts. These included finely crafted jewelry, weapons such as swords, shields, and spears, as well as items bearing influences from distant lands. Among the most remarkable finds were an ancient lyre, a rare musical instrument, gold decorative elements from a wooden vessel, and even a flag believed to originate from the Eastern Mediterranean, possibly brought back from a Christian pilgrimage. These details suggest that the prince was not only of high status, but also had connections to cultures beyond his own land. According to Sophie Jackson, research director at the Museum of London Archaeology, Prince Cyaxa is believed to have died between 575 and 605 AD. What many find particularly tragic is that he may have passed away at a very young age, likely still in his teenage years. A short life, yet honored with a grand and mysterious burial, only to lie undisturbed beneath the earth for 1,400 years, completely unknown to the world. What's even more remarkable is that the site was first discovered in 2003, but it took 15 years of research and excavation before archaeologists could fully reveal its significance. This alone reflects the scale and importance of the discovery. Through this tomb, we also gain deeper insight into the Anglo-Saxons, a people originating from Germanic tribes who migrated to the British Isles in the 5th century, helping shape the rich cultural foundation of modern England. But my friends, what truly makes us pause and think is not just the treasures, but the question: how could such a valuable tomb remain hidden in the middle of the modern world for thousands of years without anyone knowing? Was it merely a coincidence or a secret that history has yet to reveal? Can you answer that? More than 10 female skeletons beneath the Blue Cave Lake reveal a brutal punishment in China. Hidden deep within the Miaozhou region of Guangdong Province, China, lies a small lake that local residents have whispered about for generations under a haunting name: the Drowning Blue Cave. At first glance, the place looks no different from a perfect diving destination surrounded by peaceful natural scenery. The water is so crystal clear that divers can see straight to the bottom, the temperature remains steady year-round at around 68 degrees Fahrenheit, and there are no dangerous underwater currents or whirlpools. Because of this, Blue Cave Lake once became a popular destination for professional divers in Guangdong, China. But few people could have imagined that beneath those calm waters was hidden one of the most horrifying secrets ever discovered beneath a lake in China. When archaeologists first began paying attention to the area after a shocking discovery made by diver Zhang Song, the situation quickly became far more than an ordinary exploration. While diving more than 49 feet below the surface, he suddenly spotted human skeletons scattered throughout the cold darkness underwater. But what terrified him most was that many of the remains were still tightly bound with iron chains. The discovery was immediately reported to local authorities, and Guangdong Province's Cultural Heritage Department quickly dispatched an archaeological team to investigate the site. After conducting a detailed underwater survey, archaeologists recovered more than 10 human skeletons. In addition, they discovered large compacted earth blocks that had once been used to anchor iron chains to the bottom of the lake. Research later revealed that all of the remains belonged to women and had been lying beneath the water for more than 100 years. These skeletons were not victims of accidents or natural disasters, as many people had once believed. According to elderly villagers, the lake had once served as a secret execution site for women accused of violating village rules. In ancient times, if a woman was suspected of being unfaithful or accused of bringing shame upon the community, she would be taken to Blue Cave Lake to face a horrifying punishment. But the most terrifying part was that the victims were not simply thrown into the water. First, they were locked inside large bamboo cages. Then, iron chains were used to secure the cages to compacted structures at the bottom of the lake before they were completely submerged underwater. In the freezing darkness beneath the deep lake, those women had almost no chance of escape. Beneath that mirror-like surface, countless desperate cries for help were swallowed by the night while no one dared to speak out against it. A place now considered a beautiful natural attraction was once an underwater hell for many innocent women. However, what disturbed researchers the most was not only the brutality of the executions, but also the nature of the punishment itself. You see, this was never an official sentence ordered by the imperial court or established by any formal legal system. It was a form of vigilante justice carried out by village leaders of that era, a system where community power stood above both the law and basic human compassion. Although such punishments were once believed to serve as a warning to others, they actually reveal a dark chapter of ancient society when human lives, especially the lives of women, could be taken away based on nothing more than vague accusations. Even today, Blue Cave Lake in Miaozhou, Guangdong, China, remains a place that fills people with both curiosity and fear. Beneath its peaceful waters lies not only the first submerged cave discovered in China with major geological research value, but also a silent witness to a brutal history buried for more than a century. And perhaps the most terrifying part of all is that those women vanished from the world in complete silence until the skeletons resting at the bottom of the lake accidentally revealed the full horrifying truth. You see, the ancient world truly was a terrifying place, wasn't it? The Grinning Mummy Cemetery in Peru. In the arid deserts of Peru, just about 19 miles from the city of Nazca, there lies a strange and ancient cemetery where the skeletons seem to wear permanent wide grins. This is the Chowchilla Cemetery, home to dry human remains that have survived for over 1,000 years, sending chills down the spines of locals whenever it is mentioned. Belonging to the famous Nazca civilization, Chowchilla was discovered in the early 20th century, yet it still holds many unsolved mysteries. Archaeologists believe the cemetery began around the 9th century, serving as a burial site for the Nazca people, who interred their dead according to special rituals. The strangest aspect is that the skeletons were not only buried in a seated, upright position, but their mouths were deliberately arranged into wide, open smiles, a phenomenon that has yet to be fully explained. Adding to the mystery, the skeleton's hair remains intact and soft even after more than a millennium, leaving scientists puzzled. Experts speculate that the dry, hot climate of the Nazca Desert preserved the remains exceptionally well, despite the absence of any embalming techniques. The Nazca civilization, renowned for its intricate geometric ground designs and unique artwork, flourished roughly from 100 BCE to 800 CE. Yet, it vanished quietly without leaving a clear explanation. One theory suggests that desertification and climate changes contributed to the decline of this ancient culture. For centuries, Chowchilla Cemetery was buried under desert sands, only to be rediscovered during excavations in the 20th century, revealing these mysterious grinning skeletons. Although the site suffered from repeated looting, which removed much of the grave goods, it remains a fascinating and mysterious destination for archaeologists. Each skeleton with its wide grin serves as a reminder of a mysterious culture filled with rituals and beliefs that modern society still cannot fully explain. Yet questions remain. How were these burials carried out? What special customs did the Nazca people follow? What secrets are hidden beneath the desert sands? It may take archaeologists many more years before the full answers are revealed. 70-million-year-old dinosaur. Graveyard buried in Spain. Let's travel to eastern Spain, where not long ago, during the construction of a high-speed railway line, workers accidentally stumbled upon a discovery that stunned the scientific world. This wasn't just a few scattered bones, nor was it treasure made of gold and jewels. It was an entire massive dinosaur graveyard, containing up to 8,000 fossil specimens from at least 8 different species. Just hearing that is overwhelming, isn't it? This site, later named Lo Hueco by scientists, quickly became one of the largest and most diverse dinosaur fossil locations ever found in Europe. The fossils here date back around 70 million years, just about 4 million years before the dinosaurs went extinct, a period for which science previously had very limited data. What does that mean? It means we are facing a rare opportunity to understand the world of dinosaurs right before they disappeared from Earth. According to paleontologist José Luis Sanz, the lead researcher, these fossils reveal an incredibly rich ecosystem. Among them, the most prominent are the titanosaurs, long-necked giants that were among the largest herbivorous dinosaurs to ever exist. These enormous creatures once roamed the land, leaving behind footprints that, millions of years later, rested quietly beneath layers of mud, waiting to be discovered. But titanosaurs were not alone. Scientists also uncovered fossils of other species, such as Rhabdodon, a smaller dinosaur with teeth specialized for grinding plants, and ankylosaurs, armored dinosaurs equipped with powerful tails used for defense. And of course, there were predators as well. Among them were dromaeosaurs, fast, highly aggressive carnivorous dinosaurs measuring about 6 feet in length. The presence of both prey and predators suggests that this was once a complete and balanced ecosystem. The discoveries didn't stop there. Researchers also found fossils of turtles and prehistoric crocodiles, all preserved within layers of clay and mud, clear evidence of a river or wetland environment. So what caused so many creatures to end up buried in one place? Many scientists believe that a massive flood may have swept through the area, carrying everything with it and burying it in sediment. A natural disaster that inadvertently became a time capsule, preserving everything for tens of millions of years. But what makes this discovery even more remarkable is what it reveals about the extinction of dinosaurs. In the past, many believed that before being wiped out by the Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction event, when a massive asteroid struck Earth, dinosaurs were already in decline both in number and diversity. But Lo Hueco tells a different story. Here, dinosaur species appear highly diverse and abundant, suggesting they were still thriving right up until their extinction. According to paleontologist Darren Naish, this discovery supports the idea that dinosaurs were not gradually weakening before they vanished, but may have been wiped out suddenly. Doesn't that thought send a chill down your spine? A vibrant world, full of life suddenly erased in a single moment of cosmic history. Today, scientists continue to study these fossils. Bones, teeth, and even traces of plants and small organisms are being analyzed in laboratories, with the hope of reconstructing a complete picture of life 70 million years ago. And the big question still remains: is Lo Waco revealing the final moments of the age of dinosaurs? Or is it just a small glimpse into a much larger story we have yet to fully understand? And what about you if you could travel back 70 million years and stand in this graveyard when it was still a living world? Would you dare? As for me, I don't think I would. It's truly terrifying. 50 Viking skeletons still perfectly preserved after 1,000 years. Shock Denmark. During an archaeological excavation at an ancient burial site covering more than 21,500 square feet in the peaceful countryside of Asum, near the city of Odense in Denmark, a place now surrounded only by wide-open fields and quiet rural roads, archaeologist Michael Borre-Lundo and his research team uncovered as many as 50 Viking skeletons preserved in astonishing condition. For European archaeologists, this is considered an exceptionally rare discovery because Viking-era remains are usually very difficult to preserve due to the harsh soil and weather conditions of Northern Europe. But in Asum, Denmark, everything turned out to be completely different. As layer after layer of earth was carefully removed, experts gradually realized they were not simply excavating an ordinary cemetery, but possibly an entire ancient Viking community that had once lived there more than 1,100 years ago. What made the excavation truly remarkable was the incredible state of preservation of the skeletons. Many of the remains were still almost completely intact, resting in ancient burial positions alongside a wide range of valuable grave goods. Beside the skeletons, the archaeological team discovered iron knives, jewelry, glass beads, and even crystal pieces buried with the dead. These artifacts reveal that the Vikings were not merely brutal warriors as they are often portrayed in movies, but a people with a highly developed culture, belief system, and craftsmanship. According to initial analysis, the entire burial site dates back to the 9th century AD, during the period when Denmark was ruled by Gorm and Thyra at Jelling, figures widely regarded as the first rulers to lay the foundations of the Kingdom of Denmark. The people who once lived during the Viking Age were now appearing before archaeologists almost exactly as they had been buried more than 1,000 years ago. Each skeleton seemed like a doorway through time, transporting modern humanity back to an era when Viking longships dominated northern Europe. But among the dozens of graves uncovered, one burial in particular captured the attention of every expert at the site. It was the remains of a Viking woman buried alongside an entire horse-drawn wagon. The moment archaeologists uncovered this grave, they immediately understood that the woman had certainly not been an ordinary person. Surrounding her skeleton were numerous valuable artifacts, ranging from finely crafted glass bead necklaces to an elaborately forged iron sword. In ancient Viking society, being buried with a wagon was a burial honor reserved only for individuals of extremely high status. This suggests that the woman may have belonged to a powerful family, been a noblewoman, or perhaps held a special role within the Viking community of her time. The discovery has also forced many researchers to reconsider the role of women in Viking society. Until now, the Viking image has almost always been associated with fierce male warriors. But this extraordinary grave suggests that Viking women may also have held significant power and social status within their communities. According to archaeologist Michael Borre-Lundo, the entire excavation site now resembles a living archive for modern archaeology. He explained that skeletons preserved this well provide an incredibly valuable opportunity for future in-depth studies. Because of this, his research team is currently planning to conduct DNA analysis on all 50 Viking skeletons discovered in Asum. Their goal is not only to identify the individuals or determine their origins, but also to better understand the social structure of ancient Viking society. How these people were related to one another, where they migrated from, how they lived, and whether this community had connections to famous Viking groups known throughout Europe. Through modern DNA technology, experts hope to reconstruct the life stories of people who died more than 1,000 years ago. And perhaps the most fascinating part is this: every skeleton beneath that Danish soil is not simply a cold archaeological artifact, but the remains of a real human being. These people once lived, fought, loved, and existed during the height of Viking civilization. Now, after more than 1,000 years of silence beneath the cold earth of Denmark, those skeletons are finally beginning to tell the stories that history once forgot. Do you find that fascinating? Or do you have your own thoughts about these 50 Viking skeletons? If so, don't hesitate to leave your opinion in the comments below. 10,000-seat theater buried beneath a field. Let's turn back the wheel of time thousands of years to a peaceful island off the western coast of Greece known as Lefkada. You may recognize Lefkada for its picture-perfect beaches, but what you might not imagine is that beneath layers of soil, stone, and ancient olive groves, this island was once the heart of a thriving civilization. For centuries, archaeologists searched tirelessly for a long-buried mystery, an ancient theater mentioned in old historical records, yet never seen with the naked eye. That journey, filled with hardship and passion, was finally rewarded. Around the 8th or 7th century BC, Lefkada was a vibrant center of trade and culture before it was taken over by the ancient Corinthians, one of the most powerful city-states of the time. They transformed Lefkada into a fortified city with a bustling harbor and monumental public structures. Among those constructions was a grand theater, a place once alive with songs, music, and dramatic performances that echoed through generations. But as centuries passed, the theater faded into obscurity. It was gradually swallowed by lush olive fields and later overshadowed by modern structures built over thousands of years. It wasn't until 1997, after a careful topographical and surface survey of Lefkada, that archaeologists first detected unusual signs beneath a vast olive grove, an early suspicion that the ruins of the ancient theater might be hidden directly beneath their feet. Yet suspicion is one thing, proof is another. Nearly 20 more years of preparation followed. Finally, in 2015, a large-scale excavation officially began. Archaeological authorities and local officials worked closely together, relocating olive trees and removing modern obstacles, slowly revealing one of the most astonishing architectural discoveries ever made on the island. Then, almost like a miracle rising from the earth, the ancient theater emerged. Its circular stage measures approximately 54.6 feet in diameter, a scale comparable to the famous theaters of Athens or Epidaurus. The corridors surrounding the stage were intricately decorated. The seating area curves in a semicircular design with 24 rows, including a designated section for distinguished guests, evidence of the theater's importance in ancient social life. It is estimated that the theater could accommodate up to 10,000 spectators, a remarkable number when compared to the population of the ancient city at the time. Although centuries of natural erosion and agricultural activity have taken their toll, parts of the stage and several rows of seats closest to it remain relatively well preserved. These ancient traces seem to echo with the sounds of glorious performances past, of art, culture, and the pride of a city that once shone brightly in Western Greece. Today, plans are underway to restore the ancient theater of Lefkada, with hopes of returning it to its rightful historical prominence. While its exact construction date has not yet been definitively established, that uncertainty does nothing to diminish the immense archaeological and cultural value of this extraordinary discovery. Once again, Lefkada is more than just a tourist destination. It is a guardian of the sacred legacy of a civilization that once illuminated human history. Can you imagine it? Beneath your very feet, an entire vibrant world once existed. As for me, honestly, I can hardly comprehend it.